Radio, and this message is for Floyd and Austin for your 300th episode of All Things Elite, a podcast that has existed longer than the promotion that it is covering. How rare is that? You two guys do an awesome job on the network with your positivity, with your energy, and I'm just glad the Young Bucks drive Austin absolutely insane. They will continue to be great and cause many more meltdowns of him. Floyd, you already know, you're the man. You, come out here and, you rep the things you rep wholeheartedly, and you make other people like the things you like. And I love you guys' show. I am proud to be the theme song of the show. And, it's been, let's see, 6 years of it. It's not easy. So I want to congratulate you guys, and you guys have grown, your audience, and, the proclivity for positivity is not just a podcast catchphrase. If you know Floyd at all, it's, it's a lifestyle, and it's something I think a lot of people can learn. And I think they do pick up on that through you guys' podcast. So Austin, shout out to you as well, coming in. I don't know exactly when you joined up, but it seemed like the show fell into its proper setting when you joined. So we appreciate you as well, and let's keep doing it, man. Let's go 300 more. Let's go. Peace.
The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
This is All Things Elite. Welcome back to All Things Elite. Load up the 5 minutes on when we speak. Rich right here, let me warm it up for Austin and Floyd. Couldn't be no one but the boys. When it come to All Things Elite from the fan perspective, swear man, it ain't no question. Hear from them first. Swear man, they putting in the work. No, they had to get me for the verse. Social Suplex Network zone. Hours at a time in your headphones. Austin and Floyd on the microphone. Backing out on the ring, getting in the zone. Pulling up the show, give it 7 stars, you already know. Who else could it be but the show with the proclivity for positivity? I'm gone.
Hello and welcome to the first.
Welcome to the 50th.
Welcome to episode 100. Welcome to episode 200. Welcome to episode number 250. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 300 of Social Suplex's podcast about AEW with, as always, for 300 episodes, a proclivity for positivity. Welcome to this very special edition of All Things Elite. My name is Austin Sumwitz. I am the host of this lovely show, and I've been here for a good bit of it all. But a man who's been here from episode 1 to episode 300 is my good buddy and friend, the creator of this show, the godfather of all things elite wrestling, my good buddy and friend, Mr. Floyd Johnson Jr. My man, special day. How you feeling?
Dude, amazing. I am amazed that we've made it this long. I am very happy. I'm going to, at the end of the show, I'm going to save it to the end of the show so we can actually get into wrestling. I always know that's a critique of the show. At the end of the show, I'm going to send all my thank yous to everybody that I think brought us along. But, first, shout out to Rich Latta. I want to say him first for anybody because he is, he makes the music. He's the first voice you hear when coming on and listening to All Things Elite. So shout out to him. Thank you for the kind words that you sent to us. And but yeah, dude, 300 episodes. I started with Jordan and we Fox, and he's now Leo Fox in the NWA as a wrestler. He went on to big and better things, of course. And there was a bevy of different people that came on the show, but I found home. I found the right partner, Mr. Austin Sumowitz, after listening to your podcast that you were doing with your friend And the opening of your voice, I was like, I got to do a podcast with that guy. I was like, this guy is like, dude, I truly think you were born in the wrong generation. You would be the host of your own radio show in Detroit right now because your voice is just made for radio. So I was like, man, let me get him on here. I'm like, he's going to bring some class, some professionalism. He does this for a living. So I definitely thank you, Austin. Like I said, once you got on this show, it was like, okay. Okay, we're a show now. We are, 1,000 listeners, one listener, whatever, but I felt like we're a show. And I do think that's what it is with podcasting. It's finding your voice and just doing that and sticking with that. You'll find your audience will find you, but just be true to yourself. I could come on here and do angry rants that I like Jim Cornette or Eric Bischoff or people like that to try to get more listeners, or I could come on here and, just totally tear down WWE all the time to get on more listeners. But I am a positive person by nature. I am. I'm a very positive. I'm very upbeat. I want everybody to look at the bright side when possible. I, of course, know there's no bright side too, but I want people to look at the bright side with possible. I'm always looking at what pro wrestling can be, not necessarily what it is. And yeah, that being said, it's just like this has been an amazing journey. 300 episodes of the show. Between me and you, I think we've seen 100 shows live. And it's like, all the pay-per-views, all the things like that. Just, it's been fun. And I truly believe there are other AEW shows out there that, probably break down and do analytics better than us. No doubt in my mind. And there are probably shows that, are a little bit more critical to what's going on. And I respect them, and that's their energy. That's not our energy. I don't watch things to find out what I don't like. I don't. I've never hate watched a show in my life. I don't hate follow people on Twitter and Facebook. I don't. If I don't like you, I generally am apathetic or ignore your existence. That's where I go, because I don't want that in my life. I want to root for people. I want for everybody to be great. So that being said, thank you, Austin. Thank you for being here. Thank you for matching my energy. Thank you for our CM Punk times that we had together. Because, honestly, Tony Khan did an interview with, we'll talk about it in a minute. And it's just I think he addressed it perfectly. I don't pretend like the CM Punk period of time didn't happen. But the good times were kind of, if you really look at it, it wasn't that long. It was like, he did bring eyes and their energy to AEW, and I thank him for that. And then he went back, and he's doing successful, and AEW's doing their thing. And I'm kind of taking the company line on that, because if you ask me personally, you haven't hit me up in my DMs. This is a whole different conversation. Just put it.
Yeah, I would say he's got a much different opinions on it wholeheartedly now than I do. Still, like, obviously, it's like we'll move past that though. But bro, thank you. Like, because I remember, because I'm pretty sure when you asked me to do the podcast, and I won't be too long-winded with this either. But I'm pretty sure when you asked me to do the podcast, it was. Yeah, I think it was during COVID, and it was during, like, before I had a job, my first job in my profession. Like, I think it was just like, okay, well, I'm making ends meet right now while I try to be able to find work in sports broadcasting in a time where, sports media wasn't hiring because of the world that was taking place right there and all the insanity that COVID brought. So I was out of college. I was done doing the show with my buddy Chad, who I still love to death. Shouts out to him. He was my first ever co-host, and he's the reason why I'm here on this show as well, to keep doing it, because he encouraged me to keep doing it. But you reaching out, being like, hey, man, you want to do this show with me? I was like, yeah. You gave me the opportunity to keep doing broadcasting stuff when I was trying to find a legitimate job in this field. Eventually I did, and now I'm in the position that I'm in right now, and I'm unbelievably grateful. And I thank you to that because you kept me pushing myself in finding my voice, pushing myself in putting myself out there and doing broadcasting, even if it wasn't in a massively professional light, because like we do this show more than anything. Even though I come in as a guy who has experience in the field, we're wrestling fans, and that's always what we say we are. I may have broadcasting experience. That doesn't take away from the fact that like I come on this show and I talk like a fan. I don't talk like I do on TV or anything like that. So firmly, like, I cannot thank you enough for asking me to do this all those years ago. And I'm still grateful that I get to do this with you almost every week because God, works so busy for me. It's not even funny. But bro, like, sincerely, it's been so fun to do this. I'm so glad we're at episode 300. I'm glad I could be here for this momentous occasion for this show that you helped create. So I just want to say once again, brother, man, I love you to death. And I really appreciate you being in my life and being able to chat shit and talk wrestling and also give each other shit when it comes to football and other things.
No, that's my favorite thing. I just wrestling and football. You know, just seeing you're in the sports. It was like I found a younger kindred spirit in that situation, and the fact that you are younger. And when I don't know what shit means, I can't ask you.
I got you.
Because I am like I am at this point in my life. I kind of watch the same shows. I kind of do the same thing. I'm on my schedule. So like stuff gets hot and I'm like, I have no idea what that is.
You're missing both because you're in that period of your life where it's like, I have my things, I have my interests. I don't need to expand my horizons. Yeah. This is where I'm at right now. I got no reason. My experimenting days were in my 20s. I ain't in those anymore is what you're like.
I was so, no, please don't try to convince me. I was so into starting to try to get into anime, right? And
I had a period there too.
I was thinking about it. You know, like I like some of the stories. I like some of the costumes that I see at cons. And then I was like, Floyd, and this is called aging right here. Do you need another expensive habit?
There you go.
And the answer was no. So I avoided anime. It's not that I don't like anime. I don't think it's cool. I've avoided it because I don't need another expensive fucking hobby. I don't do cheap hobbies, unfortunately.
And there's not that many hobbies that are cheap, to be fair.
Yes, I don't like play chess. I don't play chess in the park or or anything like that. Or I don't go out and touch grass. I don't do that. Grass is stupid. I don't do any of that stupid shit. In my opinion, stupid shit. To each their own. If you enjoy touching grass, hope your hands turn green, do your thing. Yeah, but no, I don't do like I said, I'm pro wrestling, which I have made very, very expensive. I made very expensive habit. And then then real sports, I'm going to the Chiefs game this week, and I was like, man, I finally got a good deal. And then I told somebody how much I spent on tickets, and they were like, and I was like, no, that's a pretty good price.
Yeah, man, I got a deal.
Yeah, no, so no, just that we're gonna get to the show now,
yes.
But I just want to thank you. Second, I always say it. Second, minute, hour. If you've ever listened to the show, even if you just download it and you don't even hear this, we thank you. We thank you. We genuinely thank you. Everything you do counts. Everything you help bounce. If you've given anything to Red Circle or anything like that, we appreciate it. It's never been about money to me. I literally ever. We've never done a Patreon or anything like that, but we just love talking about this show. We love this product, and that's why we do it. So
1000%. Yeah. So thank you guys continuously for supporting us all 300 episodes. And if you're just joining us on episode 300, welcome. We're the proclivity for positivity about AEW. If you enjoy the show and what you're hearing, guys, we would appreciate if you download the show on YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever your podcasting listening preference is. Give us a download, share us around with your friends, family, coworkers, whoever you wish. Rate, review, subscribe, turn automatic downloads on, and follow us on Twitter. We are at AT Elite Pod on Twitter, at Social Suplex are the guys that are the reason this show is broadcasted to you guys like it is. So give them a listen of all the other great podcasts they have on their network. Shout out Rich Latta and shout out everybody from Social Suplex and everybody that does amazing work. I'm on Austin Sumowitz, SZUMOWICZ. Floyd is at Floyd Johnson Jr. on Twitter. Go to Chop Tees to get a t-shirt and sign up for the Social Suplex newsletter. Link is in the description of the show. Big news of
before we go on that, this is the last week of Chop Tees. It is unfortunately going out of business. I think the last day to put in order is November 24th. So that will be out of the intro after this episode. But if you want to buy all ATE shirt, I bought one a few weeks ago because I just cool having. I thought it would just be cool to have a shirt with our show on it. So if you want to buy All Things Elite shirt, definitely go to Chop Tees and pick one up. One Nation Radio, Keeping It Strong Style, Trish and Sarah podcast, Imps, AEW Ventures, all the shows on there are there. Just make sure you check out and buy shirts. And just wanted to throw that out there because it will be removed this week. So if you have ever even been remotely interested in getting a shirt from any of the shows on Social Suplex, make sure you go to Chop Tees and hit them up. So.
Big time. Yes. So once again, and if you have gotten one before, thank you very much for doing so. But moving on to our big news of the week, it is Full Gear week, and Tony Khan's been doing media leading into Full Gear happening this Saturday night. And because of that, he actually appeared on a show that he has had, let's just say, his history with. Tony Khan showed up on the Ariel Helwani show. He showed up on a show of a guy who is let's just say he didn't have much to say on his last time he appeared on the show, and Ariel was very vocal about not liking what the interview was and the answers he got, and he was vocal about that to a T. And a lot of AEW fans I know view his show as
I view him as
pro WWE,
enemy.
anti AEW. Yeah, basically is exactly what I was just going to say.
Muted and blocked on Twitter that day after that show came out. I was not a fan of Ariel Helwani. Of course, my friend JR, who's big because Helwani does MMA. He's always
MMA. Yep.
Yeah, like the Ariel Helwani, and he started calling him my boy Ariel Helwani because when you hate someone, your friends call him your boy. He'd be like, Your boy. You hear what your boy Ariel said? I was like, I will never hear what he says unless you tell me, because he is both muted and blocked on everything in my page. Yeah. And no, I actually sat and I watched the interview, and it was good, and they seemed to get along, and I'm like, everybody's like, so you cool with Ariel now? I'm like, I don't actively hate him anymore, but
there you go.
I mean, that's me coming a long way, because literally name the people I hate on one hand and I still have like two fingers left. So I don't have passionate negative feelings towards anyone, but he was high on that list. And I remember at the time, I will tell everybody, and you can think I'm as ridiculous as you want to, I don't care. Again, that's positive of getting older. You stop caring what people think. But I just saw he did that interview with TK, and he's asking him all this stuff that he knew TK wasn't going to talk about, right? And I think a few weeks later, a few weeks after, my timeline, I remember him doing an interview with Triple H. And all people wanted to know about WWE was the Vince McMahon stuff. And that dude threw up 30 minutes of softballs. And I understand there were probably reasons around it, media reasons, and all that stuff. And
what to me, like in that kind of instance, whenever I see interviews like that, and this just coming, because Ariel Helwani is a journalist. Like, outside of that's the one thing I've always said about wrestling journalists, is a majority of them are just guys with podcasts who have Twitter accounts and have a quote unquote poll. You know what I'm saying? So with that, I'm okay. I don't necessarily, consider those people journalists. You know what I'm saying? So Ariel he reports on MMA, he reports on wrestling, like he has a journalism background and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just like, you know what? Like that's the one thing I will say about him in that regard.
And you know what? And like I said, if he had treated Triple H that same way,
but the reason why I was going to say that though is because I know a lot of times when it comes to doing interviews that when you request for somebody, they may tell you straight up, I will not do the interview if you ask this, 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 or this. And to me, it seemed like Hunter was willing to do it only if he got those softballs. Not saying that's what happened, but as somebody who has at least an idea of like being in that world and seeing the other interviews that Ariel does, to me, because he definitely, like when he interviewed Punk, he prodded for a lot of stuff, like a lot of details that he didn't want to talk about. And that was, he knew what he was getting into. Hunter, I feel like, was like, I'm not doing it if you do that. You know what I mean? That's just what I feel like. But that's just regarding today's interview.
And I will say this. As a person that works in the media, I understood your side of that when you told me about it. But I'm a fan. Sure. I'm not supposed to take all that into account. I don't know shit. All I knew is one person got softball questions and one that he went at excessively hard and wouldn't drop the subject and move on to something else. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, it annoyed me. I felt like this was in the heart of WWE and AEW really hating each other.
Sure.
You know, everybody knows what side I'm on. You know what side, you know what side you listening to. So
absolutely.
I felt like you were coming at AEW. It is straight fuck you. That's how it works. It's just like, you don't exist to me. Whatever. You don't come at you don't come at it. And it's like, why are you protecting the billionaire? I'm not protecting the billionaire. I am protecting the company that happens to be ran and managed by a billionaire. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about the Elite. I'm talking about Chris Jericho, Will Hobbs, Samoa Joe, all those people, the people that make up AEW. I'm talking about the security guys, the people that wear merchandise. It's like AEW is just not Tony Khan. It is a bevy of people that I've met and become friends with and acquaintances with and just friendly enough to say hi and they recognize my face. There's, the range of emotions. So over the last 6 years, so when I see those people and I hear you bad-mouthing AEW, you're not bad-mouthing Tony Khan in my mind. You're bad-mouthing the hundreds of people that he employs that you're trying to hopefully put out of business. You know what I mean? So that's where it becomes a little annoying for me. And that where you be like, oh man, you do this. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a very passionate person. I am. And sometimes I get passionate to the point of being ridiculous. But I'm not afraid to be ridiculous. Shit. I tell you the biggest, I was going to say this later, but the biggest thing on this show is I swear to God that whole brawl out thing was a work. I swear to God it was a work. I knew it was a work. No one had told me, but I was like, damn, nobody would let something that bad happen in front of everybody. This has to be a work. And it wasn't. And I was wrong. And I have no problem saying it because guess what? I'm a fan. I was hoping it was a work because if it was a work, it didn't mean the company I support was like, shitting itself. So I'm like, I wanted it to be a work. And I probably went past all logic hoping it would be a work. It was more hope than thinking at some point. But Ariel Helwani got on my bad side, which is really hard to do. Really actually hard to do. He got on my bad side. So now, I listened. I actually pulled it up to YouTube on my TV, watched the whole thing, not in double time, not in 1.5 time. I wanted to be in it so I can see how fairly it was represented. And I thought he was fair. And I thought Tony Khan was better. I'm not saying I'm like maybe PR training, maybe whatever, but he answered every question to the best of his ability and to his honest ability. And, you talk about the show beginning the proclivity of positivity. Dude, it was the most positive thing. Even CM Punk. The worst thing he said about anybody is we have a difference of opinion.
Yeah. In terms of everything, because like basically there was no bad blood. There was a lot of insight and stuff like that on as much as they could share. Honestly, the part that I love the most, I will say, in terms of like TK, was that he did acknowledge that there was actually one point regarding Darby Allin where he thinks they went too far with him putting his body in harm's way and doing incredibly dangerous, basically stunts, like is what they are. And it was the Sting and Darby versus Young Bucks match in his retirement match, and it was when Darby fell off the ladder through the plates of glass. He thought that moment was too much, and said, I tell Darby that to his face, that I thought it was too much. But, he has his way that he wants to do it, and I'm like, there you go. I respected that, honestly, though. Like, that he proceeded to mention that.
It was so cool because he said that moment, and I talk about how tied I am into AEW and stuff like that. I'm watching the interview, and I'm looking at the plastic baggie of the glass from that pain that I have in a plastic baggie that, it's like, don't touch the glass. And yeah, I put some in a little baggie. And I brought it home with me, and I still have it. It's still on my work desk every day. Yeah. I look at it, and I remember Darby falling through that thing, and the glass going everywhere, and it was such a cool fucking moment. And it was like, yeah, was it too far? Yes. I'm looking at it now. I was like, I don't know if it was too far. It just looked like it hurt. It didn't look like, it was like, oh yeah. And then I saw him walk away later, and I was like, okay, that's Darby. And I can honestly say, when it comes to that kind of stuff, because I've seen it done and performed successfully, I'm kind of numb to being concerned for the people unless it looks crazy. Like Cash, man, he does that dive to the outside of the ring occasionally. And man, I've thought he's broken his neck like 3 or 4 times. And then
that was me with Big E when he would do his suicide dive through the top and middle rope. That scared me every time he did it. Yep. I think there was one time where he landed really badly, and I was just like, stop fucking doing that.
Yeah, 6 seconds later, he's up and he's fighting. I was like, all right, he knows what the fuck he's doing. Kind of thing. But yeah, it scares me every time. No, I thought it was, I'm not, I mean, if you go to Wrestle Purist, you go to Fightful, that's probably where I trust the most. Wrestling Observer. There have been many, many breakdowns of this interview. So I am, what we're giving is more high level. Just the energy of it seemed like two friends kind of talking. Ariel's very much a journalist. He's very much professional. Yep. But, he does. Tony brought it up. He's like, I got really comfortable talking, and Ariel's like, I don't want to keep you. He's like, oh, let's keep going.
Yeah, no, like when he says this thing where like we're rounding third, when like we're nearly wrapped up, and PK was all like, no, you were good. Like you can go longer if you want. In terms of, like I said, the things asked about all the former AEW wrestlers and moving onward, like talked about Andrade and said, like, he's got great experience with him. He said, talking about Miro, they said basically different ideas for their role. That created some distance creatively. But he's like, he's done what's best for him, and, he's allowed to feel the way that he wants about that, and so am I. And that's the best thing about it, is that he can go and just do it his way if he wants to. Karrion Kross was brought up at one point as a guy that he was interested in. Said basically they have not spoken. And then also talked about guys that are in AEW but aren't on TV. Britt Baker, he says he does believe she'll be back in AEW. Didn't say anything bad about her. Says she has had good talks and wants her to return at 100%. Talked about Ospreay. Good thing I heard about Ospreay was that he hopes early next year is when Ospreay will be back. And MJF, he says mainly, great crossover moment for him. And WWE never reached out about Adam Copeland, which I can't believe that was an actual fucking rumor that people thought Adam Copeland was going to show up as John Cena's last opponent. Like, are y'all that fucking deaf?
Oh, dude.
I'm sorry. Like, I understand people are really emotional about Cena's last run, and more power to you. Like, it was awesome to see Nick Nemeth show up, Dolph Ziggler. seeing Matt Cardona come back as Zack Ryder gave a good chuckle out of me. And I understand. We all know how big of a rivalry Edge and Cena was at that time. He is a signed, contracted wrestler from AEW at the moment. I have no reason to believe that anybody from WWE or TKO would even consider approaching AEW for that, because they would get a stern no to the face every single time. It is a question. It's like, well, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. No. The answer is always no in this regard. It was never going to happen. And the fact that WWE fans, I give wrestling fans all they want. They fantasy book to their heart's content. God bless you. Y'all are fucking stupid.
Dude, I've fantasy booked the whole thing out of All Out, so I completely understand.
I know, but I'm just saying, this one specifically, I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
My wife was sitting on the couch watching her show, and she's like, my friend's like, who do you think the person that, who do you think the person that's coming out for the tournament's gonna be? And I was like, fuck, I don't know, Jinder Mahal. I just threw out a name, and she's like, my friend thinks Edge, and I laughed. She's like, what do you mean? I mean, he's under contract with AEW, so unless some sit down, back down, and AEW WWE has decided they don't want AEW to go out of business and they don't hate them anymore, I don't see that happening. Now, in my opinion, I think Tony Khan would be very much open to working with WWE. But, he's not one of these little companies that they come in and kind of, try to take over. He would have demands on his side, like any good business person would.
Correct.
And I don't think WWE would want to acquiesce to those sides.
I agree.
So they don't even make the call. And that's it's such a non-story. You know what I mean? It's a non-story because no call was made. We're going to talk about something else later, and I'm going to be like, I feel like that was the case too. No call was made. Like, everybody's like, stuff, they have their thought process. I'm like, I don't think Tony Khan blocked it because I don't think WWE asked. And then we get the interview, and it's like, WWE didn't ask. And I'm like, of course. You're like, hey, I don't ask my wife for a threesome. You know why? Because I know the answer is no. Like,
exactly.
And my wife's like, my husband doesn't want a threesome. He's never asked. Well,
yeah.
No, I'm exaggerating. I'm just going on a thing.
No, I know.
But I'm just saying, it's like you can easily say someone's not interested if they don't ever ask the question. So
yes. He also talked about Ariel Helwani asked him about the picture that was posted after Saturday night's main event, where Cody, Jade, Ricky, and Punk all held their championships in WWE, all former AEW guys. And he spoke like, the picture made him smile, and thought about a picture that was taken during the pandemic after 2020 when Cody Rhodes and Moxley held their belts. And he's like, it made him reflect on how far they've come in their careers. He's like, didn't make a comment on them each, but he did say he could talk for hours about their relationships, his relationships with them and their time in AEW. So again, very respectful, very professional. There was a moment where they mentioned Saudi Arabia to him, and he didn't really speak anything about the topic of them working with
I loved how he handled that.
Yeah.
Because he seems like...
Because he asked me, because Harwani was like, it's like, you're one of the few sports entities that don't have a connection to Saudi with that. And he's like, I didn't actually realize that. And I hadn't thought about it. And didn't have a topic of it. But then when he was asked about counter-programming WrestleMania Saudi Arabia, his response was mainly just, talking about making sure his shows are affordable and having, the ability for fans to come to their show and have decent ticket prices, which, again, is a good response because of, you want people to come to your shows. That's the be-all, end-all with AEW, which is why I never give them shit for ticket prices. I want shows to be affordable so I can go.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It was like, it was just very fair, and it was like, and one thing I can say I commend, and this very fits along with our proclivity of positivity, he was more focused on telling why AEW is good and not why someone else is bad.
Absolutely. Yes. And Talked about, lastly, the two big ones was Jericho. Talked nothing but good things about Jericho and his time with AEW. Doesn't mention his contract or anything like that, but he did say, there is a conversation about dates. Doors open for him to come back. Wants him to return in AEW. And mainly just talks about, like, he's made time in his schedule when he was having other commitments and stuff like that. But to me, everything that was the vibes of that was like, again, it ties back to everything
basically
we felt
Jericho's
like with Jericho.
decision.
It's like, it's his decision, yeah. And from everything that we've seen from Jericho's side, it doesn't seem like he's coming back, and it seems like he's actively trying to go to WWE. Now, whether it happens or not is to be determined still. It's still in Schrodinger's wrestling box.
Yes.
But moving forward, though, TK's not slamming the door on any possibility of Jericho coming back if he wants to. And makes all the sense in the world why he would be like that. And then lastly, about Punk, this was the last thing that I wanted to save it for last, obviously. Talked about it. Again, still very positive about his time with Punk, mainly just about, he felt like the relationship still had to end regarding everything that took place. He said still, like, there's still great moments from when he was here, but also he still feels like everyone still seems happier now that it's over. In regards to it, though, when asked about Punk, saying he's a nice guy and not a good boss, basically, he's like, I understand your feedback. I disagree with it. And I also disagreed with his interpretation of everything that went down with how everything closed out. And specifically the line he said was, I feel like the video footage spoke for itself regarding him and Jack Perry. That is the only thing I will still continue to refute, is that I think TK's decision to air the footage and his feeling that it completely made everything make sense as to why they had to fire him, to me, I still see as bullshit. I know he talked big up and down about how it popped a number. It popped a number. They got a good number out of it. And that's the biggest thing I was happy about, was that AEW got a number out of it. Because if they didn't get a number out of doing this, then it would have been even more of a waste. But I will still say, to this firm moment of all the positivity I give Tony Khan, and I love his attitude about wrestling. I love how genuinely of a good guy he is, and how he is truly a wrestling fan at the end of the day. And like, I feel his passion for the business. I think he's completely missed the mark with this. I think the decision to show the footage is still the worst decision he's made in his time working in the wrestling industry and owning AEW and running AEW. I still think it should have never been done. And I still think it hurt not only AEW's credibility, but it hurt Jack Perry in the process, and it hurt the Young Bucks, and it hurt TK, and it continued to hold a cloud over AEW that, thankfully, I firmly feel like we're past, and I feel like everybody is just like, at this point, we're done with it. You know what I mean? It's done. It's gone. It's moved on with. We're done. We can move on with our fucking lives. But I do understand why at this point, like, Punk had to go. I knew it wasn't going to work at this point. Like, it was done. We were done. But I feel like this being the situation of like, I don't know. I still disagree with everything that he said about that, in regards to the footage speaks for itself, not in the way that you think, TK. I'm sorry. I just can't meet you there. But everything else in the podcast, everything that he did in the interview, I respect Ariel for being upfront with him and not going easy on TK. I respect TK for playing ball, even if he was still, I feel like in a lot of instances, very professional, very much like toeing the line at occasions, but he had more to say than he did the last time he did the show. And I appreciate that the both of them have like squashed the beef, because honestly, it was quite tiring, Like, it was just quite tiring to have that kind of interaction. Now, I don't think he'll come back. I think this will probably be the one and last time he'll be on the show, because I can't imagine another instance unless he's doing a big press tour that he comes back. But I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think I'm glad it happened. You know what I mean? I'm glad that we had this moment just to have TK get some press out there for Full Gear. I think it was a good publicity appearance for Full Gear to get a little bit of excitement into it. And I think TK, again, I give him props for AEW being in the spot that they're in creatively and just, in terms of progress with the show, progress with, fans being able to afford tickets and, getting into different markets, putting on really great shows. Like AEW is in a really good place right now. And I think it's hard to, I feel like anybody who's saying that they're not in a good place isn't paying attention and is just firmly in the camp of, well, they don't sell out big arenas. They don't have huge sellout shows or anything like that in massive arenas. So they're clearly failing, or TV ratings aren't over 1 million or whatever. And I'm like, where they're at right now is very profitable and very successful for what AEW is. So, shush.
I just have one note from the whole interview. Bring Britt back. That's my note.
I agree. I would love to see her back, dude. So much.
I was about to say
so much.
Only thing I'm saying is I watch. I'm an Instagram follower of hers. I watch her videos when she put it out. I'm not saying she's not injured. I'm saying she doesn't look injured. She looks real healthy. She looks like she could wrestle tomorrow. So no. That's my whole thing. We're just a fan. I don't know. There's political side of anything. I've heard rumors and all that stuff. All I care about is the person that I enjoyed watching wrestle quite a bit, performing, whether it was on mics, whether she was just coming out with Jamie Hayter, whether it was with Reba or Rebel.
Yeah, which also,
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Condolences and huge prayers go out to her. I know,
Rebel.
We won't get into it at all, but if you go to her social medias, you'll understand what she spoke on. We love you, Rebel. We love you. We love you, Reba. We sincerely hope for your health and everything moving forward. Truly,
dude. And it's the one thing I saw that I'm gonna comment on is Tony Khan sent her a gift basket. And some guys that billionaire sent a gift basket, blah, blah. And it's okay, the world is not all you see on social media. I really want to re-emphasize that. You saw she got a basket on social media. So in your mind, you adjust it to the years that she's been out. The only thing Tony Khan has done is sent her a basket. Everything else, fuck her. That's where your brain went. And I think that's the brain worm that we have with social media. If it doesn't happen on social media, if people aren't bragging about it, if people aren't sending you the doctor bills and saying, I covered all of this, then it didn't happen. Well, hey, I know that's your best friend, but you didn't wish him a happy birthday on Twitter. Well, we were together. I just said happy birthday to him. I didn't feel like it was a need on Twitter. It's it's this brain worm that's out, and I'm that if it doesn't happen on social media, it doesn't happen. That is fucking insane. It actually angers me that people have that thought process. Dude, I went through a divorce and I never posted about it. No, you know how people found out I was divorced? I told everyone I was marrying my next wife. I don't talk. That didn't mean I was any less divorced. I just didn't tell anyone. I didn't want to, because I actually like my ex-wife. Actually still love her to this day. We get along. We just weren't meant to be married. And so I didn't want to go on social media and be like, grr, 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 and because I didn't have anything bad to say. So I didn't post it. And I know I have friends that are going through stuff right now. And they are on social media, but they don't want to post that on social media. And it's this is the bigger, this is not just to this. It's to the bigger idea that if you don't post it on social media, it didn't happen. Please try to get away from that thinking. People have lives outside of social media. I really haven't reported that I really had said I was going to Wrestle Kingdom a lot on social media. I'm still going to Wrestle Kingdom. I'm still going to be in the building. I'm still going with 5 of my friends to Wrestle Kingdom. I don't feel like I need to post it 100 times on social media that's happening. I'm not less going because I didn't post it on social media. So I just use that as, I'm using this all as an example. Just try to get away from that line of thinking. And I feel like the people that listen to our show are very reasonable people. We don't get a lot of hot takes. We get people correct us on, if I say the wrong thing, and I definitely appreciate that. Tag me and correct me. I will never be mad at you for that because, that's how I learn. But, man, the idea that somehow we're getting to this world where if you don't post every thought in your mind on social media, that somehow it didn't happen. Yeah, that's broke brain shit right there.
Yeah, we could talk about that for hours, but we will not get away from that because, trust me, as somebody who works in this field, if I was not in the field that I'm in, I wouldn't be on social media, firmly.
Yes.
But that is all I feel like we need to touch on with TK and Ariel Helwani. We can get into AEW Dynamite and Collision, the 3-hour show we got leading in to Full Gear this Saturday.
I felt like overall this was an uneventful.
I was gonna say, man, like it's kind of crazy that this is the show that falls on episode 300 because, quite honestly, outside of maybe one or two moments, this show like went in and went out.
I will firmly. I will say this. I'm sure someone watched this 3 hours and then they plopped down their $40 on HBO Max. I think everybody should. I think everybody, if you got HBO Max or pay-per-view, make sure you're ordering the pay-per-view. But from just trying to be 100% honest on my opinion, I don't see how this should, like, in my opinion and how I saw it, I don't see how this show sold any pay-per-views. Mm-hmm. Like, it just, it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad show. But after Blood and Guts, and maybe it was going to be anything that happened after that Blood and Guts episode.
Correct.
It felt like a pay-per-view. This felt like it was just a show kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it had to pick up a lot of slack for what just took place at Blood and Guts last week, and for the fact that it had to be a go-home show, which is, I believe, what may have contributed to the fact of it smashing Dynamite and Collision together to make it a 3-hour broadcast. And I understand that because, again, you're building hype for your pay-per-view and everything like that. I completely get that. But, not a whole lot happened. So we're going to get through this relatively quickly because we got a lot of stuff that we want to touch on after the show, just for episode 300 and everything like that. So real quickly, the show opened with the match between Ricochet and Bobby Lashley for the number 1 spot in the Full Gear Casino Gauntlet, where the winner becomes the first ever AEW national champion. Ricochet came out and was talking up the Philadelphia Eagles, talking shit about Boston, shouting out his wife, and then proceeding to insult MVP. And then eventually Bobby goes, I'm done with this, and throws him to the outside onto Bishop Khan and Toa Leona. And then we got into the actual match. It was fine. Like, again, I still firmly don't have necessarily a huge, like, oh my God, like, dying interest to see this national championship thing and whatever the hell it comes out of. A Casino Gauntlet match is always entertaining. I will say it is always a fun time for a pay-per-view. We had 2 of them at All in Texas, and both of them were pretty good, especially the women's one. But this match to me was like basically, Ricochet was trying to, avoid death for as long as he could, and Bobby Lashley was inevitable, so he was able to put him away and get the victory.
Tell me if it didn't feel like this. It felt like they wanted to give us the Bobby Lashley and Ricochet name, but not actually give us a regular real match. Because this didn't feel like a real match. It was Ricochet talking shit, and then Bobby hitting him with a spear, and it was kind of over. And it's like, Ricochet and Bobby Lashley have a better match than this in them.
1,000%.
Like 1,000%.
If they give them time and actively allow them to wrestle loose.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it would have been significantly better. So Lashley wins. He has the number 1 spot in the National Championship Casino Gauntlet. Very weird. This opened the show, and also just kind of an odd match.
I mean, it actually made sense for opening the show because I guess it was first time ever, but it made sense for opening the show because you didn't really get a match. You kind of got. It was kind of like a story.
It was more almost like a segment, like a promo segment, as opposed to like an actual match.
Yeah. So and he was making fun of Philly. Like, does Boston
making fun of Boston? Yeah.
Does Boston hate Philly? Is that a thing?
I think everybody hates Philly for the most part.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, then I completely.
I can say firmly as a Lions fan after last week, I hate Philly.
Yes. No. So it is what it was. I was like, I mean, it was funny because they announced the match and I got excited, and then the match happened and I was like, womp womp.
Kind of exactly what it was. Yeah, so after that, we had a good promo from Samoa Joe, basically sending out Shibata to deal with Hangman Adam Page because he said, "Must feel good, world champion, a fighting world champion, tearing through this competition world with reckless abandon." And you know what? When I walked in the door, if I got involved in this match tonight, I would have to forfeit my championship opportunity. It seems like a champion with a company firmly behind him, but also my only solace is, Hangman, your whole world of joy and happiness is about to get very different very, very quickly. I'm not necessarily sure how I feel about joy and happiness being used in the same words as Hangman Adam Page, but I digress. Different times. But he calls him guilty of crimes and transgressions against the ops. And your punishment begins tonight, and it stands in the form of Shibata, deadly by design, violent through intention, firmly dedicated to exacting revenge for our brother Will Hobbs. Shibata begins your payment, Hangman, and Full Gear I will collect in full. Tell him Shibata, and he makes a threat in Japanese. We get no cell phone. It's Shibata talking in Japanese. This man is not around joking around anymore. He's here to kill. So I do think that was a good moment too, considering all we've heard Shibata do promo-wise is with the phone translation. So for him to just speak in Japanese, I think is a good moment. A good little oh.
I had a person tag me and it's like, no matter what, you can't help me, make me hate Shibata. And I'm like, nah.
1,000%.
And I was like, I want to be like, man, he got this promo and they did it. I really wanted Shibata. No, I can't. I can't. That's just the guy. I can't hate that man. I know too much. I know what he's been through just to get to where he wrestles every week. Sorry, I can't hate that man.
Mm-hmm.
He loves it more than I do. Because if my brain went out of my head, I wouldn't be doing that activity ever again.
Yep.
So, shout out to Shibata.
Shout out to Shibata. We go into the trios match, Young Bucks and Josh Alexander versus Skyflight, Scorpio, Dante, and Darius Martin. They caught up with Matt and Nick Jackson beforehand. We're watching stuff with him and Kenny Omega, and they asked if they were joining the John Callis family, but Don Callis immediately jumps in and doesn't let them answer the question and says, Bucks should be left alone. They have a match tonight, and they'll give their answer after, and they'll have a special ring announcement for me, as well as a bank for it. And we get into the match itself. It was good. Like it was a good, entertaining match between guys that can all wrestle very, very well. Like it was cool to see Scorpio Sky on Dynamite. Honestly,
Top Flight was awesome. Top Flight,
Darius was wrestling his ass off.
Sky Flight was awesome, and I'm hoping this leads to them getting more TV time because they made the most of their minutes. And
I was just saying that this was the biggest thing I took out of this match was the fact that like everybody from Dante Martin and Darius, they wrestled their ass off. Scorpio is always great, and I'm glad that he's on TV because I really like Scorpio. I think he's a really good wrestler. I think he should get more time, so I'm right there with you. If there's anything that you take out of this match, it was good. Give Skyflight more shit to do. Like, let's go.
Yeah, my problem with Scorpio Sky, and I think it might be his problem in general, he is just so good and smooth that his performances, like next week, I won't remember this match. Because it was great. It was what it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? But it's like, also it's like, would anything happen? Now, I can say this. Their double teams and triple team moves. You can tell they've been working. They have been putting in work to really make this a conducive three-man team or whatever, trio. I didn't want to say threesome. I already said that earlier in another context. Yes. So yeah, let's stick with trio. So they made a conducive trio, and they looked really good moving around. So more Skyflight. You got a whole other 2-hour shows on Saturdays. I mean, I feel like they could be featured even more on that show.
Sure.
And they're definitely getting run on ROH. There was a tag match tonight, and I believe at Final Battle, it's them versus Shane Taylor Promotions for the Trios title. Yeah, you got a little ROH news here. I don't know who else is doing that. You got a little bit. So, no, that was like, if I took anything away from this show, it was how good Skyflight looks working together. I've never doubted Top Flight or Scorpio Sky's working ability. It was just like them as a trio, as a group. I can actually get behind this as an act, which when they were first introduced, I was kind of like, Now I feel very much more positive towards them.
Yeah. I will say my favorite spot of the match had to be when they set up for the first a really great moment where Top Flight did the Dante springboarding, and it was like almost like the avalanche electric chair into like a I can't even say what it was, but it was just so well done, like into a flapjack almost. Like that shit was so nice. And then the spot where Dante is going to get hit with the BTE trigger, and he moves down and springboards himself up by using their momentum to get up and fight back out of it. Those two were the spots of the match for me, though. But again, really good stuff. A good win for Josh Alexander and Young Bucks. Alexander obviously in the match continued I'm doing all the work, and like kind of pissing off the Young Bucks because of the way that he was acting. But he gets the submission win, tagging himself in and doing it himself. And afterwards, the Callis family comes out, and they want to hear the official announcement that they were joining Don Callis' family, and it was like, things have been so good since you've been associated with me. It's time to announce the people. And they hesitate again. So Don goes like, hey, man, this company's a dangerous place, and without a family, bad stuff could happen. I would hate to see what would happen to you be what happened to Kenny Omega. And that's when Kenny Omega walks out with a chair, heads straight in to go after the family, and eventually they go after he goes after Josh Alexander. The Bucks are just kind of watching until they decide to push Kenny out of there. They start arguing, and that's when Josh Alexander chops Omega's knee from behind, and then they get him in an ankle lock. He's screaming, and then Callis goes, you know what? I got a better idea. Goes back to the announcement and wants to hear it. They didn't have to say they were joining the family. They could show them by giving Omega the BTE trigger. And Callis was like, do it. Crowd's telling them, no, 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 no. They slowly grab Kenny's arms, but then Jurassic Express comes in for the late save and clears house. Jack Perry had a snow shovel basically to send them running out. And there you go. Like, still a little bit of hesitation, still a will they, won't they. But I think that moment was actually played really well. And it got a really good pop for Jurassic Express when they came out for the save.
I love how the story's unique, because this is a devil trying to get you to join and be a demon type of thing. But this is like most of the time when the story is told, the people don't know that the guy's the devil, right? They just like, oh, you find out later in the movie or the TV show, oh man, this guy's the devil. Well, this is a unique twist on it because they know he's the devil. They know Don Callis is the devil. They know who Don Callis is. But he has done everything, and he's made their life easy. And you know what their life was as EVPs? It was easy. And so he's giving them a glimpse back into that world that they came from. And they're like, no, we know we shouldn't, but good Lord, we like it when our life's easy, kind of thing. Which again, I can't blame them for that. They like, I've always, I'm glad the whole selling your soul is not a real thing, because like, dude, I've gotten hungry sometimes, and I'll be like, man, I'd sell my soul for a Big Mac. No, I'm glad that's not a real thing. So that being said, this is probably the most intriguing. The Young Bucks thing to me is probably the most intriguing storyline in AEW right now on the men's side, which is both good and bad.
Yes. We then had a good promo from the Babes of Wrath, my girl, your girl. Like, this tag team was made for us, dude. Like, seriously.
Yes, and when they chest bumped and she Harley was like, oh my God. Again, I feel like it's, I'm about as high on Harley Cameron as a performer as anyone. I am truly a Harley Cameron fan. And it's honestly because of stuff like this. They got a 1 minute, I don't sit there with stopwatch, but a 1 minute, 2 minute promo. And that's one of the things I remember from the show. She just has that thing that makes you pay attention and that energy. And it's just like, maybe one day, 10 years from now, I'll be like, God, I'm so sick of Harley's shit. But right now, I can't get a fucking enough of it. I can't. I want her on the TV as much as possible because every time she's on it, it's entertaining. It's like, she's great. She's great. Yeah. And then she's happened to be tagged in with my current favorite AEW women's wrestler, Willow Nightingale. So, yeah. She matches her energy, too. Like, Harley's at a 10, but Willow's at a solid 7 or 8. You know what I mean? When she's out there with her. So they feed off of each other. Yeah, I dig it.
Absolutely. We then had Shelton Benjamin and Speedball Mike Bailey facing off for the number 2 spot in the Full Gear Casino Gauntlet match. And after Bobby won the first one, I just knew. I was like, oh, here we go. Here's 1 and 2 right here. Like, just right here. And this match was significantly better because it was an actual match. A legitimate match. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, and Speedball wrestled his ass off and did some good stuff there. And there was like a good, respectable handshake before the match, actually. And again, there was good moments where both guys got to really feed because the crowd loved both of these guys. Like, they were really rooting for both guys. And I felt like there was some really, really strong stuff from both guys in this match. Shelton proceeding to lift up Speedball after being caught in an armbar and then carrying him out to the outside. And that spot's always freaky whenever I see it. And again, Shelton showing off his strength by just throwing around Speedball is always fun because Shelton's a strong-ass motherfucker. But Shelton Benjamin gets the victory. However, there was a moment where it was weird. Yeah. He kind of gets the 3 count, but the ref's like, no, it wasn't completely down. MVP gets in. He thinks the match is over. It keeps going. Shelton gets a German, and then the running knee, final thrust kick. There's the pinfall. So he thought he got the win right there.
Dude, and after he hit the thrust kick. His shoulder was not up at all.
Yeah, so the ref called it. They were like, there's the spot. But,
maybe they stretched it for time.
No, it's still going. So then they gave it. Then they gave him the. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, there is some
fuck
insider.
Up the ref and they just
there is some insider podcast that will know exactly what happened here. But as a fan, I was confused.
It that took away from the match for me because the ending was just kind of like Yeah. So, but regardless, that match much better than the first one, and it's going to be really cool just to be able to have the Casino Gauntlet match begin with Shelton and Bobby. Like, it's just going to be fucking awesome. We go into the tag team match between Claudio and John Moxley of the Death Riders versus Roderick Strong and Orange Cassidy. Again, another good match. This was just another instance of just kind of continuing a little bit of what we saw from Blood and Guts. And, moving forward, like just trying to keep this thing going a little bit. Honestly, just really strong stuff. I like how Orange Cassidy immediately just went straight after Moxley to just kind of keep the fire going from what took place at Blood and Guts. Moxley was getting the shit chopped out of him by Roderick Strong. And then eventually the Death Riders zoned in on Orange Cassidy and made him go to hell. But eventually... Moxley, there's a great moment where Claudio catches Orange Cassidy, full presses him, and then throws him directly into the ramp, into the LED board, and then proceeds to run in and European uppercut him. Well, it goes to uppercut him, and then he gets kneed by Roderick Strong in the face, and then they're fighting a little bit towards the fans. A great dive to the outside from Orange Cassidy with hands in his pockets into the crowd. Was a very, very fun moment. But eventually, as the match continues, Yuta gets in the ring after distracting the referee. He is hit. Cassidy goes after him, and then he gets uppercut by pop-up uppercutted by Claudio, and then Moxley quickly gets the Bulldog choke. They get the win. They're trying to do more damage, but Kyle O'Reilly comes out, picks at Moxley, and then proceeds to not let go of an ankle lock, even as Garcia and Wheeler Yuta were kicking him at him, trying to make him stop. They eventually broke it off, but Orange Cassidy and Roderick Strong chased him out to the floor, and then O'Reilly gets the ankle lock back on Jon Moxley. They pull Moxley out of there, and he immediately screams how he wants to fight him at Full Gear. And since you've given me a taste of blood, I want no holds bar. And just like blood and guts, the history books will say you tapped out. So Kyle O'Reilly looking for a second straight tap out win over Jon Moxley. And of course, it's a Jon Moxley match on the pay-per-view, so it's no holds barred. So honestly, like, cool that they because again, it was a shock that Kyle O'Reilly submitting Jon Moxley was what won them the blood and guts match.
Not a shock.
So the fact that Mox is trying to get his get back, it leads into this match where Mox is going to get his get back. And I give it credit. Kyle O'Reilly and Jon Mox getting a one-on-one match with Jon Moxley on a pay-per-view. Fucking good for him. Like, genuinely good for Kyle O'Reilly. Like, I'm very happy for him.
Kyle O'Reilly. I'm not the biggest Kyle O'Reilly fan. I've never shied away from that, but
sure.
I am happy he as a performer, he's a great performer. It's gonna be a good match. I have kind of a hot take on who should win this match later, but as far as that, they've built it up well. Kyle O'Reilly is just kind of owned Jon Moxley over the last month. So now we're going to get to see in Moxley, like, the no holds bar, no DQ rule is really in Moxley's territory, because that means any Death Rider can get involved. So we can see from there. So let's see what happens going forward.
Yep. All right. Well, moving on from that, Brodito talked about how they were backstage. They spoke about FTR's attacks on Legend and Family. And Brody King said, basically, we're not going to take anything away from FTR because they're one of the best, but you haven't proven that you could beat us, and you guys will leave Full Gear empty-handed, and Brodito will never stop fighting. Mercedes Moné then proceeded to walk through and was getting ready for her match against Red Velvet later at night. Kenny Omega spoke about how things were personal with him and Don Callis' family. He said basically to Don, you bought the best talent money could buy when we went down to create a family. Now the Bucks are proving that money can buy friendship. And Josh Alexander made it personal when he attacked Kota Ibushi and Michael Nakazawa. So on Saturday, no amount of money will save them from what Kenny, Perry, and Luchasaurus will do to them. And then we move right in to the Women's World Tag Team Championship quarterfinal match between the Timeless Love Bombs with their amazing new entrance with Timeless Toni Storm, Mina Shirakawa versus Alex Windsor and Riho. Another match where the outcome was it was never in doubt. Holy shit, this was a good match. Like, this was really good. Like, this to me was probably, yeah, I mean, it's either going to be this or the match that closed out the show. Might have been the match of the night. Like, really, really good stuff. Both teams worked off of each other really, really well. Having Alex Windsor and Toni Storm face off as well. Like, they clearly show that they can really do some good stuff together. Mina and Riho, I loved seeing them bounce off each other. It was a really cool dynamic to see them all fight each other. They were all enjoying it. There was a great moment where Mina kind of flips herself over the top rope and lands onto Riho. Was a really cool spot. Having Tony help, having Windsor help Riho dive off the top rope was awesome. There was just really solid teamwork from both teams. And then there was just a moment I loved, which was when Riho fucking clocked Mina Shirakawa clocked Riho out unconscious with a spinning back fist, which was amazing. Eventually, though, the match leads to a couple moments where obviously the funny spot in the moment was when a figure four leg lock was locked in on Mina Shirakawa and Riho, and Tony and fucking Alex are trying to flip over each other to try to make sure they change who's holding the hold on who. Like Mina wants to hold the normal figure four, and Windsor turns her over to make it so that way Riho has it, but eventually they headbutt each other and then they fall on Mina and Riho to break the submission. Fucking so funny. And eventually we lead to the point where they do the timeless love bombs or the double hip attack, and that allows for Tony to hit Storm Zero on Alex Windsor, gets the pinfall, and then timeless Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa move on. Again, was not even remotely considered to be a second thought, but still really, really good moment. They were going to face the winner of Ty J and Marina Shafir and Megan Bayne. And then also the four semifinalists were going to meet at Full Gear in a four corners tag match with the winners choosing their stipulation for their semifinal match. So it gives them an advantage basically moving forward to try to kickstart themselves into the finals of the tournament. But I really enjoyed this match. It was fun, had some really good tag team cooperative moves. I thought the matchup was really, really well done, and right team went over, and it was fun. I think it was just an absolutely entertaining match and a great work from all the women involved.
Dude, okay, the match was great, but this is my complete Floyd take. When they came out with the music and the number, I was like, okay, they should win.
Yeah, because the timeless love bonds became a team. You know what I mean?
So they're in the matching outfits. They have a whole routine and dance, and I'm just like, oh, there's no way in hell Jamie Hayter and Rio are winning this match. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what are we doing? I was like, no, yeah. I was like, I really enjoyed the match, but in my head, I'd already know who won, so I kind of zoned out on certain parts of it, because then it was like, oh, Tony won. No, but I love Tony and Mina's chemistry. I love their energy. I'm gonna make this very clear. God, I hope they don't win the tag team titles. So hard. Oh my God, this company, as much as I love AEW, this company has been being, basically the women's division has been two women for like a year.
Yes.
Year. And I'm like,
it'd be cool for Mina, but yes, I know. We get the belts on a couple other people.
Yes, it's been two women for like a year. I don't know how this is going to end. This is not a prediction. I'm just like, when we got down to the 1-4, I was like, anyone but them, which is not how I should feel about Tony Storm, the god of AEW women's wrestling. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Goddess of AEW women's wrestling. I should not feel that way. But it's feeling like I felt like with John Cena in 2015. That's how it's feeling with me, or whatever. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot. Especially if you like anyone else. like,
for sure.
I'm just gonna. That's just this is my honest thing. So, yeah. Feeling like heavy in that run. Yeah.
We then had two promos backstage, with first Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe meeting up backstage basically, and they had a backstage moment where they talked basically about what it meant to have a no disqualification match for the TNT Championship, where if Briscoe loses, he has to join the Don Callis family. And Fletcher spoke basically, I've beaten Briscoe 3 of the last 5 times we faced, and when I win on Saturday, he'll break the record for most defenses of the TNT Championship. He's excited that it's no disqualification because there's no excuses, and he's looking forward for Briscoe thriving in a real family. But Briscoe immediately jumped in and said he fights for his family at home and the one on the road in the conglomeration, and he's not leaving his family, and instead he'll be making them proud. And then Okada and Hechicero jump Briscoe, hold him up for Don Callis. Basically, was like, you're going to make your family proud? I'm going to make your kids orphans. And I'm like, fucking A, okay. Fletcher then proceeded to say to Okada, thank you for not agreeing to no physicality, because only those two agreed to it, but the rest of the family did not. So that's why they were able to jump him. And that's when I'm glad I could help because Takeshita couldn't. Fletcher, there was a moment where Okada's like, Proto-Okada as like their team name, and Fletcher was like, okay, all right. And then there was a good promo, I will say, from Pac talking about Darby Allin, what's coming up at Full Gear with their match, where they have a match facing off, continuing again what took place from Blood and Guts. His promo was also very well done, talking about like, maybe I took things a little too far at Blood and Guts, but you know, the boy who never quits, if you have a backbone, here's a real challenge. No weapons, no cattle prods, no tasers, no fire, just you and me. Because truth is, when you're stripped of all your bells and whistles, there's no way on planet Earth that someone like you could compete at the level of a legitimate athlete like me. And I appreciate the way that he took that, because again, with the way people view Darby Allin, having him get a straight singles match to just show his wrestling, again, reminds everybody how good this guy is, I feel like.
Okay, first of all, Proto-Okada.
Get the t-shirts.
Yeah, that is banned. That is a banned term in Floyd's world. If you use that term, that's fighting words to me. It is only Proto-Keshta. That's who it is. Okada's trying to steal Takeshita's husband, and I don't like it. I'm not for infidelity. Okay, so we need to quit this. Okay, and I feel like Kyle Fletcher is much to blame because he's flirting back. Okay, this was just one-way flirting. I'd be okay with that, you know, but he's clearly flirting back, and I don't like it. So we need to stop this right now. And Darby versus Pac. Just in a wrestling match. Sign me up.
Sign me the fuck up.
Because has Darby Allin had a wrestling match since he's gotten back? Just a regular wrestling match?
I'm sure he has, but I guarantee
somewhere in there it had to be. Somewhere in there it had to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I'm excited for this because I saw Darby and MJF, and when the wrist lock match and they were wrestling. Darby can wrestle. Like, it is lost on people that he can wrestle. He was somewhat of an accomplished high school wrestler. So the dude knows how to work. So I'm ready for this match.
Yep, I am significantly ready for this match because I think it's going to be a fucking crazy ball. I think we're going to have a great time with this one. We then go into I'm pretty sure this was the final moment of the Dynamite era of the part of the broadcast. Hangman Adam Page versus Katsuyori Shibata with Samoa Joe on commentary for this match. And yeah, another good match, another good moment where we get two physical wrestlers getting to trade some blows with each other. Joe on commentary is wonderful. Hangman basically jumped Shibata before his entrance was even over. There's a moment where Shibata suplexes Hangman in front of Joe, and Joe's just loving it up. Hangman's obviously still taped up from the week prior. But yeah, they showed off some good physicality. There's a great moment where an ankle lock is put in on Hangman, but he gets out of his cowboy boot. The moment where Hangman proceeds to smack Shibata in the face, he throws that boot sky high. And it's so fucking funny. So funny. Eventually, Hangman gets the buckshot lariat, gets the victory, and gets the win over Shibata, and then gets on a mic to Joe and says, I want you to look around and look around you because you may be surrounded by crazy-ass fans tonight and thousands of them. You may be at the commentary desk with the rest of commentary with all but a poncho on your head. And he goes, you are now alone. And when you walk into a steel cage with me at Full Gear, remember this. You won't have Will Hobbs. I sent him to the hospital. You won't have Shibata because I sent him to a hospital. You want to remember what I did the last time I was locked inside of a steel cage with another man. Because if I have to do it Saturday, I swear to God, I will do it again. Great promo. Great promo, honestly. Good closing to the Dynamite segment of the show. And match was solid. Good to see Shibata get some good physical work in there in singles competition. And Hangman and Joe in a steel cage. Fuck yes. I'm literally so excited to see that match.
Yes. Only thing I like, Shibata is the wrestler. That's his whole thing, is he just wants to wrestle. He gets tacked before the beginning of the match. It's kind of messed up, Hangman.
Yeah, but again, Hangman doesn't really play
fair. Yeah. And no, match was really good. Love the promo. You know how you know Hangman's crazy? He's excited to get in a steel cage with Samoa Joe.
That he is.
I would pay significant amounts of money to never be in that situation. And he seems to be excited for it. Not a person I would fight.
Again, he's got something wrong with his head. I will tell you that firmly.
You win, sir. You're excited to get in the cage match with Samoa Joe. You know that Sweet Tooth, right? You know that Sweet Tooth. Which, that laugh, he did a laugh on commentary, and it sounded like Sweet Tooth from the show. So, no, I am not super excited about this build in this match, mostly because I know who's going to win. I am excited about the execution of it. I love watching Samoa Joe wrestle. Hangman is an exceptional wrestler. So they're going to put on a great match. But it's just like that. I need that hint of where I believe Samoa Joe can win, and I don't have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at too with it, because again, like the match is going to be fucking physical and crazy. It just seems like it's setting up for Hangman to get that belt back, and there you go.
Can stay champ. Yep.
But we will see. FTR and Stokely came out to respond to what Brodito said, and Stokely talked basically like 11 years ago, FTR was formed. 9 years ago, they had a classic we talked about for days, weeks, months, and Brodito. Do you think anything you've done will be remembered in 9 years?
Nope. They won't even be a tag team.
Ooh. And Cash Wheeler goes, guys, you guys can relax tonight, enjoy tonight. There's no games. We're not going to lock you in any rooms. Your grandmommy's safe. Dick the Dragon Steamboat is safe. Saturday, we're going to be taking those belts from you, and you may be the feel-good story of the year, but we close the book on Saturday. And Dax then says, 9 years ago, we did have a classic tag match, but since then, we've had 6, 7, 8 matches, considered the greatest tag match of all time. We've also been 10-time tag champions over 7 promotions. So why is this so important for us? Why is Full Gear so important? It's because the reign is what we hang our hat on. That is what our legacy lives by. And this is the foundation of one era professional wrestling. And unfortunately, you guys are in the way. The 3-time AEW Tag Team Champions will be made on Saturday at Full Gear, and they will go down in history as the best tag team of all time. And then have Abuela come and say hello on Full Gear. Really solid promo from the guys, honestly. And again,
yeah,
it's FTR. What do you want us to say?
They're going to win their title. And they will establish themselves as the tag team of the year, beating out probably the only other team that's even in the conversation, Brodito, because they've had a hell of a year. Yes. But, there's levels to this shit. Brodito is a great tag team. FTR is FTR. They're one of one. you know. And that's what they're going to do. And I love this promo because it was like the most 80s heel promo ever. Say hi to your grandma after I beat you.
Yep.
I no one will remember you after this. It's great and it's amazing. And I'm really looking forward to this match. As much as I'm not a big temporary tag team, Brodito definitely grew on me.
They've taken over.
And they performed well, but all great stories come to an end. And I don't know if you know this. I don't know. The first time FTR, when they lost, the first Full Gear they were in, they wrestled against the Young Bucks, and they lost their titles. It is time for vengeance. It is time to run this back and take this over. But yeah, the promo is amazing. I've always been, FTR really doesn't need a manager personally. But Stoke, oh my God. I always say he's my avatar, but even in my dreams when I was cutting promos, I'm not as good as he is. He's exceptional, and everything he says makes you want to punch him in the face.
Oh, 1,000%.
I mean, I'm like, dude.
Yeah. And then I will say, because I did want to look it up because you mentioned it, I did find out, so since Darby's been back from Mount Everest, he's only had one singles match that wasn't a gimmick match. It was the Blood and Guts Advantage match that he had against Daniel Garcia on the November 5th episode of Dynamite. Yeah. But his last match that he had that was a singles match was back when he was in the Continental Classic with Ricochet back in December of last year. Since then, no singles matches besides the best of the Blood and Guts Advantage match against Daniel Garcia 3 weeks ago.
I feel like Darby has kind of found his thing.
But again, so this will be only his second singles match in about a year.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Crazy.
We then go into the final quarterfinal match for the AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship Tournament. The Megasis Megan Bayne, and the Problem Marina Shafir versus Ty J. And yeah, I mean, it was fine.
The match happened. It was good.
It happened. It was solid. I went into this match firmly knowing that Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir were winning.
Apparently, a lot of people did not know that.
I guess some people did not know that because they got very mad about it. But I will say, Marina Shafir's submission being the mother's milk is fucking wild. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
She's choking out. Yeah. I know it is a legitimate MMA thing too, but like the fact that it's called that and she's doing it is like insanity.
I mean, she is a mother. I imagine at some point she had milk in those things. So, I every time I watch it, I'm like, it's one of those things that is painful. I don't know if it looks painful. You know what I mean? It's painful, but I don't feel like it looks painful. You get what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So,
in certain lights, you're probably just like, oh man, she's just getting hugged,
Yes. So,
and then there was a little bit of a promo too afterwards from the Timeless Love Bombs, basically. That was just at the moment there. And then we go into the Double Jeopardy match between the AEW Unified Champion Okada versus the CMLL Women World Trios Champion Mascara Dorada. And this was a collision match for sure. It was good. It was pretty good. But you know what? It was cool to be able to set up the Trios Championships as well, being involved too, with Don Callis basically saying they want to take a shot at AEW Tailgate Brawl before the pay-per-view with Okada, Hechicero, and Konosuke Takeshita facing off against Sky Team.
So, this is the moment I put a fist in my air and said, yes! It was Jordan Fist, actually. It was Jordan Fist. So, they have been building Takeshita and Okada heat, and I feel like they were going to do it on Full Gear, but, with our boy TK, there's a chance. And, and I've been very clear, I cannot go to the show Saturday, and I do not want to miss Okada and Takeshita.
Yes, so this confirmed saying Okada and Takeshita.
So I was like, no one was more excited about our match announcement than I was about this announcement. I was like,
and it's firmly because they didn't do the singles match when you couldn't go.
Yes, because like I said, I have a plane ticket to World's End already bought in case they try to spring that match on me last minute. I will be at Wrestle Kingdom where I know it's not going to happen. But I plan on being at that show. Life happens. Very much there's a chance I might not be able to be. But if I have any control over it, I'm going to be at that match. So, yeah, when they did that, I was like, ooh, yeah, baby. And, and the trios match sounds pretty fun.
Yeah, so Okada getting the win, though, sets up the Don Callis trying to get more belts with them facing El Sky Team of Mascara Dorado, Mystico, and Neon of Sky Team for the CMLL World Trios Championships. So once again, another instance where the Don Callis family tries to continue to stack belts on this incredibly loaded family. So yeah, and the fact that they're just called El Sky Team too is just such a fucking such a name. Like,
so when are we getting our Sky Flight? Flight versus Sky Team. We need that battle.
We need that battle, and we need that match to take place on a skyscraper.
Yes.
Yes. Like, it just needs to happen. And then, we can go right into the main event of this 3-hour show, which was the undisputed Ring of Honor Women's World TV Championship being defended by Mercedes Moné. And she defended one of her many belts against Red Velvet with Chris Statlander, the AEW Women's World Champion, on commentary. And really, really, really good match. Like, the heat they were coming out to start with this match, honestly, like, I loved how Red Velvet was just, like, absolutely jawing with Mercedes as soon as they came out. There's a great moment where Mercedes throws Red Velvet into Chris Statlander. And because of her doing that, Chris Statlander proceeded to walk towards the ring and get the ref, get Aubrey distracted, which caused almost an Eddie spot to be done against Mercedes, which is just spectacular stuff. Like, doing a fake Eddie spot with Mercedes is a really great moment. It nearly cost her. She tried to roll her up. She kicked out. A good kick to the head from Red Velvet. Honestly, like, these two, like, I was like, this should be a good match, but like they seriously blew all expectations away, because having one lung blower hit from Mercedes and then the avalanche one from the second rope looked vicious, and having that be the moment that finishes the match is honestly a really cool spot. She gets on the announce desk, Mercedes holding their belts, and jumped onto Statlander with a Meteora, hit the statement maker on her, and celebrated with the Women's World title to close out the night. A great closing moment for that match to tease for Full Gear. This match exceeded my expectations. I will firmly say.
I will say this about Red Velvet.
Such a good job. And, like, holy shit.
If you don't watch ROH, her confidence, Red Velvet's confidence, so much. She just has whatever you didn't think she had before, she has it now. She can move. You saw her hang in this match. I thought it was exceptional. That finisher with the lung blower thing was amazing. And
dude,
only one note about this whole match, other than what you said, you did a great job. Chris Statlander is exceptional at a lot of things. In the ring, she is as good as anyone. She cuts really decent promos. She is exceptionally bad at the commentary during the match thing.
Yeah, no, her being on commentary was very clear this is not her role.
That is
I mean?
not what she does. They need to, I feel like she could have just stood or sat over in a chair away from the announce table and just watched, and it would have been more effective than her trying to speak.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I
mean, and again, this is more of, I don't come just with complaints. I have a solution. Yeah, like have her sit in front of the thing or something. But when she tries to talk during it, it's just
she
it
doesn't
feels
need
like
to be talking. Not every person on commentary needs to be.
I have never heard a person that doesn't want to feels like. I cannot tell you how her feelings, but I've never felt a person that feels like they don't want to be doing this. Like, I don't want to be on this. She does not. She sounds like she'd rather be anywhere else than doing this. She's like, can you punch me in the face so I don't have to do this? I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it's talent or she just doesn't want to do it. But good Lord, she doesn't seem like she's like, oh my God. It's like, yeah. So, no.
But yeah, that was the closing moment. So she is now Mercedes Moné, undisputed Ring of Honor World TV Champion, which, again, easy to call. But a great closing match on a 3-hour show that, again, for the most part, like, there were a couple really good stuff. I will say the women, honestly, I think stole the night from the men. I think this was a better night for the women than it was for the men.
2 weeks in a row.
Yep, and we will take that. But as a go-home show, it was honestly just fine. And that firmly, I feel like, has to do with the fact that this show not only had to be a go-home show, but had to follow up fucking Blood and Guts.
Yep.
But regardless, that is what we had from Dynamite and Collision. Real quickly, before we get into our last little bits of news, do you want to just quickly run down the card for Full Gear this Saturday and give our predictions?
Yes. Let's. Before we did that, I wanted to. They did announce the Continental Classic starts next week.
Yes,
and it's gonna start on the Dynamite before Thanksgiving. So I wanted to know before we join in the preview and predictions, and that's basically how we're going to end before, is who are 4 people, and you got to say, of course, outside of Okada, who has to be in it, do you think have to be in the Continental Classic?
People that I think have to be in it?
Yes. 4 people.
I would say... Probably, I would say Samoa Joe. I would like to be in it, honestly, just to have him something to do after the AEW World Championship match.
Okay.
I think another guy that I think could really use some help being in it would be Kyle O'Reilly coming out of it. Put Jack Perry in it, I think, would be a really strong spot for him, I think. Hell, you could even put Luchasaurus in it if you wanted to. Josh Alexander, and then maybe Pac, I think, are guys that I feel like just could be in it and would slap. But in terms of guys that could win it, that's the thing with the Continental Classic is a lot of instances, like, you kind of are left guessing, I feel like, of who's going to be the guys to come out on top of it. But those are just a few names that I feel like I would like to see in the Continental Classic.
I am going to go Bandito.
I'm
going to go Brody King. I think they're not going to have. I think they're not going to have anything to do after this weekend.
I see.
Yeah, I'm going Scorpio Sky.
Yeah, I think he in one of the other ones too. I think.
I don't think he was. Yeah, and
I'll have to check.
Yeah.
You keep naming names. I'll keep checking.
And then Konosuke Takeshita. Because I've called at the beginning of the year. If you listen to this show, I said Konosuke Takeshita.
Yeah, you know what? Konosuke's got to be the number one with a bullet because he hasn't been in it either.
I said he's going to win the G1 and the Continental Classic in the same year. I said that early this year before he was announced for the G1. Before any of this happened, I said he was going to win both in the same year. I'm sticking with that. I'm not even saying he's just going to be in it. I'm saying Konosuke Takeshita's going to win it. Hopefully he's in the other side from Okada, so they don't just have a random match and then a random city in December, and it annoys me.
Yeah.
And then, yes, and I think the finals, always at World's End, will be champion Okada versus New Japan World Champion Konosuke Takeshita for the Continental title, a.k.a. the Undisputed title. And that's what I think is going to happen. But,
okay. Real quick, I got to ask, too. Another one I think, because I need to ask, is because Juice Robinson he couldn't wrestle in the last one.
yeah, because he got hurt. Yeah, so
Yeah, because he got hurt.
they might go ahead and
he's
put him
back.
in. Yeah.
Might want to put him back in, give him the chance to be in it again, like after he lost that chance.
Yeah, and I believe he's been in the G1, so...
Yeah. He's a guy that I think, again, like it would be an easy one to be like, hey, you lost your chance at doing it last year. Here's your chance of doing it this year.
Yeah, it's the third one. And Scorpio Sky was hurt in 2023. I don't know if he was hurt in 2024, but he wasn't in it. And so people from last year, Beast Mortos and Commander, I think Commander was there for Juice Robinson. And then Beast Mortos was in it and didn't get any points, so hopefully he can get in this year. I would not mind Rush or Sammy Guevara being in it. And I'm just looking at the names from last year, and yeah.
Yeah, I think you saying firmly, like, Takeshita's one with a bullet, I think is the guy that has to be in it for 1,000% sure.
Takeshita versus Okada at World's End in Chicago. And yeah, I'm down. That's what I'm predicting. Maybe hell, you might not end up even being in it, but I don't think you can do those tournament style matches without somebody like Takeshita in it. I don't think he was in. Yeah, he wasn't in the last two. I think you got to have him in it. And like I said, I called this in February or like January that Takeshita was going to win. Now, I was being firmly tongue-in-cheek, just saying he was going to have a great year, but he's already done one of the things, so
yep,
he has a chance to do the second. And if I'm right on accident, I'll take it.
Exactly. Exactly. Whatever case it is to be right, we're taking it.
Yes.
Yeah, and then, so now we can go ahead, we'll get into our Full Gear preview and predictions real quick. I'm just going to go through and I'm going to run through the 4 matches that are on the Saturday Tailgate Brawl that'll be taking place, which is basically the pre-show. Workhorseman versus Eddie Kingston and Hook. It'll be Eddie Kingston and Hook winning. Don Callis family versus El Sky Team. I will say El Sky Team with issues with Konosuke and Okada. Boom and Doom versus Roppongi Vice. Fuck it, Boom and Doom, whatever. And then with the $200,000 Tailgate Brawl 4-way tag match, the Acclaimed, the Outrunners, the Bang Bang Gang, and Big Bill and Brian Keith. I think Bang Bang Gang need it badly, so give it to Bang Bang Gang.
$1 million. That's or whatever you said. $200,000.
Yeah, $200,000.
Austin's trying to cut a serious kind of promo, and he just had 200. So I got, of course, Hook and Eddie Kingston. I think they need a catchy name. I know Eddie Kingston probably would hate the catchy name, but they need a name.
Oh, sure, they need
it. And I'm going with, I guess Hechicero will take the loss, and the El Sky Team will win. Boom and Doom. So tonight on ROH, again, covering ROH, they Pillmanized Big Boom AJ's arm. So that's going to be a part of it, but I think QT's going to make the save. It's going to be a house of fire. Everybody in New Jersey is going to be standing on their feet. We're going to have Bruce Springsteen playing the music, and QT our show is going to pull that out. And then it seems like this whole thing is about putting the Acclaimed back together. So I'm calling the Acclaimed to win the $200,000. Even though I'd be happy if the Bang Bang Gang did it, but I think
they need it bad, but I don't think they're gonna win. But I'm rooting for the boys.
See, the thing about Austin and Juice is this: they had them beat FTR a couple weeks ago, so
Yeah.
I think they're gonna set up as FTR's first opponent after FTR wins. I mean, if I haven't been very clear about who I was predicting to win that match, I hope I didn't.
Spoilers.
I hope I didn't spoil anyone. So,
Yes.
yeah. So let's get into the main show, sir.
Yes. So the 4-way tag match between Marina Shafir and Megan Bayne, Tony Storm, the Babes of Wrath, the Timeless two, and then the Sisters of Sin. Winner will choose the stipulation for their semifinal match in the Women's Tag Team Championship tournament. Yeah, in terms of it being choosing the stipulation, I feel like it has to be probably God, because here's the thing, is like, to me, I feel like the winner out of these four, and I feel like it has to be either the two I would say that have to win this are either going to be the Sister of Sin or the Babes of Wrath. The entire tournament altogether, I feel like one of those two teams has to be the ones that win this tag team championship tournament. It's got to be one of those two. On the heel side and on the babyface side, it has to be one of those two. So I feel like the one who wins this match to choose the stipulation would be one of the other two. And to me, I feel like it has to be, cause fucking, you know what, Floyd, give me your thoughts. I'm overthinking the hell out of this.
I'm going with Sisters of Sin, and I think they're going to make the match with Willow and Harley some kind of no DQ interference match, so I'm going with the Sisters of Sin.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with because I feel like I feel like they got to give Sisters of Sin this win because I feel like Harley and Willow are moving on to the final. So yeah, I'll go with Sisters of Sin too.
Yeah, I got Sisters of Sin being the first tag team champions, so that's like my thought process on it. I feel like they're going to do some kind of screwy rules match to beat Willow and Harley, with Tekla helping. And then I think Tony and Mina are going to beat Megan and Marina, and it'll be Sisters of Sin versus the Timeless Love Bombs.
Timeless Love Bombs, yes, sorry.
Yes, no, in the finals. And I think Tekla and it's going to help them win it. So that's how I played it out in my head over the last week. So Sisters of Sin.
Yeah. Like I said, I feel like the winner of it's going to either be them or Babes of Wrath. You know what? Fuck it. Just to give myself a little bit of love for my girls. I'll choose I'm switching my answers. I'm choosing Babes of Wrath. Fuck it.
All right. Babes of Wrath.
Pac versus Darby Allin. Feel like this is a good spot for Darby to get the win in a straight wrestling match. I think it'll be just a really good moment just to see that. Because, again, like I said, this will only be his second match, singles match, non-gimmick match in a year. Like less than a year. Because he was in Mount Everest for a period of time. So, yeah, Darby Allin.
I'm going with Pac, and there will be a reason.
Okay, what's the reason?
No, there will be. We got to wait till another match so I can tell when you're
All right.
The
$1 million match between Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express versus Josh Alexander and the Young Bucks. Yeah, I feel like this has to be Young Bucks pulling the trigger, joining the Don Callis family, and they win the match to beat Kenny and Jurassic Express.
See, I think the Young Bucks and Josh Alexander do win the match, and then they try to make the announcement after the match. Of course, the Young Bucks don't join. They attack them. Kenny, all the Don Callis family attack the Young Bucks. Kenny and Jurassic Express come out and save them, and now we get the Super Elite. All
I
five
see.
of these five.
I figured that there would be like a week or two of them being in the family before they like turn.
That's
and then
probably,
come back to,
and what you're saying is probably the better story.
yeah.
Yeah.
To me, that's what I thought was going to be the case, where you'd get a couple weeks of Young Bucks in the family looking menacing, and then you have the switch up.
Yep, that makes sense. Yeah.
All right. John Moxley versus Kyle O'Reilly, no holds barred. Hey, Kyle, good job on the submission win in Blood and Guts. Get ready to die. John Moxley wins.
Kyle O'Reilly beats John Moxley yet again.
Okay.
And the new leader of the Death Riders, the guy that beat Darby, Pac, did the thing John Moxley couldn't do. Pac takes over as the new leader of the Death Riders after
Takes John Moxley out. Okay. You know what? I respect that.
But any other time, I'd say, yeah, I'm like, Darby, I mean, Mox can't keep putting everybody over. He has to win a match. So
Yeah.
I would generally pick Kyle O'Reilly, but since I think it's leading to Mox getting kicked out of the group, I'm going with Kyle O'Reilly winning.
All right. The Full Gear Casino Gauntlet match to determine the first ever AEW National Champion. All we know right now is that the 1 spot and 2 spot are Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley.
And we know Ricochet
and Ricochet's in it, and Mark Briscoe's in it.
Yeah.
And Speedball's in it. Yeah. No, not Mark Briscoe, sorry.
Yeah.
Speedball's in it. Yeah, Speedball's in it.
Yeah, I'm going with Ricochet as the new champion.
Yes, Ricochet is going to win.
That's what I think. The whole goal is to get them moving around to other companies and everything. They said they're going to defend it at ROH and that kind of stuff. I just think it's the perfect belt to put on Ricochet and let him, run with it and be the face of that division. He's the person you want going around to other companies and working.
All right. The no disqualification TNT Championship match between Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe. If Mark Briscoe loses, he has to join the Don Callis family. And
it's what I think's going to happen versus what I think should happen. I don't think Kyle Fletcher should lose. I think he's still he should be dominant for a long time. But New Jersey, towards the end of the year, feel-good moment. I'm going with Mark Briscoe actually winning.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna pick Mark.
Yeah,
because I feel like this will be just a huge feel-good moment. And I agree with you. I think Fletcher should still be a dominant champion, but the dude's already a fucking huge deal. So I feel like he should be all right still moving forward. So yeah, Mark Briscoe, tag team championship, Brodito, FTR.
Yeah,
y'all know what podcast you're listening to.
Yeah. If this wasn't called ATE, it'd be called FTR.
Something.
There would be something along that. No. I Brodito, every question I had about them at the beginning, they've answered. I was, shut the fuck up about them now because, they were everything we wanted them to be. So don't get me wrong, but all good things come to an end.
Yep.
And the end is Shatter Machine. 1, 2, 3.
Speak on it. Women's World Championship, Chris Statlander versus Mercedes Moné. I still love the idea of Mercedes not being able to have all of these belts, but still can't win the one against Chris Statlander. So I'm going Chris. I think Chris just can, holding the one belt that Mercedes can't win, I think would be a really cool thing. I'm probably wrong, but I'm going to say Chris Statlander.
I don't see Mercedes losing for the world title at 2 pay-per-views and, in the last 6 months of the year because she already lost at All In. But I can't shake the feeling you're right, so let's go.
Yeah, I just love the concept of her having all of these belts but not being fulfilled because she can't get that one last one to add to her collection. I think it's just the story's too good to pass up. Mercedes is going to be world champion eventually. We all know this. It's not even a foregone conclusion. It's guaranteed she's going to be AEW Women's World Champion, but not now.
Not now.
finally, steel cage, Hangman Adam Page versus Samoa Joe for the AEW Men's World Championship. Cowboy's going to keeping it. It's his pay-per-view, for Christ's sake. Hangman wins.
I will say this. It is his pay-per-view. But he has lost at this pay-per-view quite a bit.
He has.
I'm going, of course, with Hangman. But I am adding in a little something extra.
Okay.
The music hits, the lights low, the devil returns. I'm calling MJF to return.
I could see that for
not
sure.
just calling him to return. He still has the suitcase or whatever the thing they're calling, from All In.
Yeah,
I think he cashes it in, and it's MJF versus Hangman at World's End. So,
all right.
That's how I see it. I just think that's the only way you close the show on a hot note. I think you can't. I don't think you can just close it with Hangman winning. Somebody's got to come back. Somebody's got to come through that door. It may be Swerve Strickland. It may be MJF, that's who I'm predicting, of course. But someone has to come out after the match. Maybe it's Chris Jericho. But somebody.
If it's Jericho, I'll be stunned. I will be stunned.
Yeah, maybe it's Chris Jericho. But somebody to add some spice, to get everybody talking about World's End, somebody has to come out at the end of that night and ruin Hangman's life.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, those are our Full Gear predictions. We got one last bit of things that we want to hit, and then we're going to close. We're going to kind of run down our thank yous and some final moments with this 300th episode
I
of
think
All Things Elite.
I don't have anything in the additional news. The Anna J thing I was going to say.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, some people ready to jump over the ledge over Ty J losing, which I don't take lightly, jumping over ledges, but it is the result of a wrestling match. So, got to have levity to a point. I was like, first thing I read is when I saw people going crazy, I was like, was this a retirement match I didn't know about? I was confused because, again, I wanted IJ to win. I made the argument for them winning or being one of the two teams that, at the finals on this show. But the thing is, Anna Jay's fairly young, Ty's firmly in the company. I figure, okay, they had this upsetting loss. As soon as the match ended, I started thinking, they have this offsetting loss. They can build to them coming back stronger and then have this big moment, and Anna Jay's from Atlanta, Ty's from Orlando, have this big moment where they come back and, win the titles and the crowd goes wild. So I was like, man, this is perfect because, maybe they're not the first champions, but they could be like the next champions. Well, yeah, some people, hey, I'm done with AEW, blah, blah, blah. Well, today we found out, and I think this news, the idea that everybody had such a, and I say everybody, but a lot of people had such a visceral reaction to the losing, and then this news perhaps today feels like those two things have something in common. Like somebody may have tried to leak something to, get people from being so angry. Because actually Ty J was trending last night after the show. People were so pissed about it. It looks like Anna Jay's contract is coming up soon. It's going to expire soon. So maybe that's why they lost. Anna Jay hasn't re-upped with AEW. And, you're not going to put them over or whatever. That's why they lost. I think the leak, to me, that is the purpose of that leak coming out. Do you agree or disagree, Austin?
I can see that firmly, yeah.
Because there was a visceral reaction from a portion of the fan base that are all about Anna Jay and all about Ty and wanting them to win. Don't get me wrong. I wanted them to win too, but they didn't. And like I said, unless it was like a retirement match, they could build it up to win later. But, so it looks like Anna Jay might be wrapping up with it. I have nothing but positive things about Anna Jay. As far as her in-ring work, I think she's greatly improved. Do I think she's the best worker in the world or anything? Probably not. You know what I mean? But I definitely like her work. I've always liked her attitude. She is gorgeous. I mean, I'm not going to leave that out. So I would not be shocked if she's heard rumors or whatever that if there's a WWE offer out there that she doesn't listen. You know what I mean? So she looks like she looks. She's a good worker. I think she could do some stuff in WWE if that's what she wants to do, or NXT if she wants to do. She's still really young. So she joined during the pandemic. I hope she stays. I hope she stays. I hope she stays. I want you to make sure that clear. That I said it 3 times so you know that where I want her. But
yep,
I could see being as young as she is, want to at least leave the options open. Here a number, here an offer, here something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's what I would do if I was that young.
Sure.
If she was 35, I'm like, hey, why haven't you signed a contract yet? But she's not that, like, hey, maybe there's interest out there. I mean, she knows some people over there. Maybe someone has said, hey, if you are available, you'll get signed, because that's how this stuff happens, this back end shit. But I'm hoping Agent 99, a.k.a. NJ, stays with us.
I agree.
Thoughts, sir?
Yeah, I would love it if she stays. If she does if there is interest from the other side, I think again it makes sense as why she would want to hear it out. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of all I got. I think this being the straw that broke the camel's back for some people was very, very interesting to me. I was just like, after everything that's happened in this company, good and bad, that's the straw. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, like I said, it's just like a lot of times people fail first at their ultimate goal and then, succeed later. And I get it. They are the longest established tag team in this tournament, but shit happens. I mean, I think it could be a better story than winning it.
Sure.
Maybe Marina and Megan win the titles and then that's who they got to beat, I think there's a better story than them just winning it and becoming the first people to win it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that is everything we have in AEW on this 300th episode of All Things Elite. Yeah, guys, again, we said it at the top of the show. We'll say it again. For however many episodes you've been listening to, we truly appreciate the support. We truly appreciate your guys' passion for AEW like we have, and we appreciate you guys sticking with us for however long you've been listening to the show. It means the world to us. Again, much love to my co-host Floyd for having me come on and do this show. Basically, a little over four years ago, I think, is when he started and brought me on, and I've enjoyed it ever since, and it's been truly amazing. Shouts out to everybody at Social Suplex for having us on their network. It means the world. I appreciate y'all, especially for me as a guy who came in the middle of the show. It means the world for me, you guys, to have the support for the show that you do. Shouts out Rich for doing the soundtrack. Shouts out to my buddy Chad, who I first did a wrestling podcast with, still my close friend to this day, and means the world to me that he helped me get my podcast journey starting when it comes to professional wrestling. And shouts out to AEW, man. It's been so much fun to talk about this company through the ups and downs and the wild, 6 years now that the company has existed. And I cannot wait to continue to do this show moving forward. I'll quickly say the plugs before Floyd closes us out. Again, downloading this show, whether you're listening to us on YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, turn automatic downloads on. Give us a share with your friends, family, coworkers, whoever you wish. Rate, review, subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at ATElitePod, at Social Suplex. Make this show possible. Check out all the other great podcasts they have on their network. I am at Austin Sumowicz, SZUMOWICZ. Floyd is at Floyd Johnson Jr. on Twitter. Again, limited amount of time for you guys to still get t-shirts or merch at Chop Tees. So if you're interested in getting all these Things Elite merch before it's gone on Chop Tees, go to the website and get yourself a shirt or a hat or a hoodie. And then Social Suplex has a newsletter. Link is in the description of the show. Sign up for that. Here's to 300 more. I will pass it off to my buddy Floyd so he can close us out on this special 300th edition of All Things Elite.
Yes. Thank you, Austin. I have been thinking about who I wanted to thank first on this for a while now, and it was some names that popped up. But the first name I'm going to go out to is the co-host of Keeping It Strong Style and one of AEW's biggest haters, the young boy Josh Smith. The idea of this show was his. I named it and everything, but the idea to get an AEW show started before AEW started was his. And he reached out to Jordan and Jordan Fox, and Jordan Fox reached out to me because I was doing another podcast. So yeah, I mean, as much as this is, the young boy is the father in essence of this podcast. So thank you to him. Thank you to One Nation Radio. One thing I've learned listening to One Nation Radio, Rich, James, two of the most entertaining people I know, is if you're not having fun doing this, why are you doing it? If you're not enjoying doing this, why are you doing it? That's the one thing I learned from One Nation Radio, from Keeping It Strong Style. Jeremy and Josh, they were my second teachers into the into the New Japan world. Met them at All In 2018. That was a great time. I realized long ago that I couldn't do their show. I've heard their show. It's one of the most informative shows ever. But I realized my personality didn't go with that show. They do a unique New Japan show. If you are even vaguely into New Japan or just want to know what's happening, make sure you watch their show. My first New Japan teachers were from the Super J-Cast, Joel and Damon. I thank them. I didn't know shit about New Japan. Everything I learned about the history of New Japan, I learned from them in there. And then a special shout out to another podcast network, honestly, Voices of Wrestling. Rich Craich and what is it? Joe? Rich and Joe. Yes. They taught me like so much about it. They changed the way I thought about wrestling. I mean, I've always been a wrestling fan. I've always been the biggest wrestling fan my friends know. And then I listened to their show and I'm like, fuck. Like they just cared about so much stuff that I never even noticed in wrestling. And I remember listening to them because they were actually my first wrestling podcast. My friend Dave Brown, who got me into podcasting, told me about them. And I've listened. I'm a Patreon person. I've listened every week. They are great. I don't necessarily agree with them on everything. We disagree quite often. I'm into puppets. I'm into puppets, Joe. I'm into puppets. But shout out to them. Shout out to Amy Nimini. She was one of my hosts. Of course, Jordan / Leo Fox, whichever one is going by. Shout out to everybody. Issa and Tiffany and all the people that have either been on the show, gave information to the show, helped me with ideas, told me stuff not to cover because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing at the beginning of this. So shout out to Sydney, Summer Weezy. Shout out. We became friends, and then I met Austin and shit. And in a way, the variation of what this show would be doesn't happen without her being here. So I want to shout out to her there. But yeah, I think I got them all out there. I gotta shout out our most consistent listener. Like he's my boy. He's my friend, just J-Ro, Jason Robertson. He listens pretty much every week. Every week he messages me with comments about the show, stuff that I've missed, and I usually update it the next week because of it. Shout out to him, and then shout out to last but very much not least, it's Jackie Rodriguez. She is the friend everyone needs a Jackie. I truly believe that, and it's just like, she's. I've never met a person in this world that can match my positivity like her, and she keeps me on the straight and narrow when it comes to doing the show in AEW, and when I'm being ridiculous, sometimes my takes don't even make it to the show because I say it to her, and she's like, "Okay, chill the fuck out, kind of thing. So shout out to them. But I really do. All the people on the Social Suplex, Sam with the AEW Match Guide, and Trish and Sarah, and Tunnel Talk, and the art show. I forgot what it's called. But I want to shout out everybody because like being part of this community, whether it's through the Discord, whether it's through messenger chats, whether it's through text, it has enhanced my life. Now, I want you to understand that. I didn't say it enhanced my wrestling life. It has enhanced my life. All the different points of views and takes and things that people like that I don't like, things that I don't like that other people don't like. I didn't know any shit like this. But y'all have opened my world. I have friends in Australia. I have friends in the UK. I have friends all the way around the world because of this community I've joined. So when I tell people to make sure you're going to the Social Suplex Discord because it's the best conversation in wrestling, I'm not saying that because I'm on the Social Suplex. I'm saying that because I adore the community that has been created on Discord. I adore the community that Social Suplex has been nice enough, the Godfather Jeremy Donna has nice enough to include me in. Because they didn't have to. They could have picked someone else. And they didn't. When Jordan had to leave the show, they say, Floyd, you really weren't our idea. So we're going to go with someone else. They could have done it. And I would have accepted it. Because I was waiting on the call. And they never made it. And they keep letting me do it. And they keep letting me upload. So I thank you. I hope I didn't get too overly emotional there. I knew this was going to take a minute. That's why I did it at the end of the show in case you didn't want to hear it. But, yeah, thank you. And most of all, thanks to AEW. And when I say that, TK down to the guy that sweeps the floor at the end of the night, ticket takers, merchandise, all these people that I've gotten to know and that, you know, like I said, recognize me. I mean, are we best friends? No, but they know me. They're like, hey, Floyd, you know, that kind of thing. And we kind of do the head nodding or whatever. And I see them at the airport in the morning when I'm doing stupid flights. Thank them all. Because without y'all existing, there's no podcast. You know, I truly, without y'all showing up all these weeks and grinding and, you know, going up against the WWE every week, fighting, there's no me. So there's no us as far as this show. And I said this last, but I did forget one name. And even though she doesn't listen to the show, I have to thank her because this is recorded. Thank you to my wife, Crystal Johnson. She puts up with me. She lets me travel. She lets me go all over the world. She lets me go to Japan to watch wrestling. She lets me talk on the show for 3 hours every week. She never makes me miss Dynamite or Collision. My wife, this is how hardcore she is. She has never asked me to do an activity when wrestling is supposed to be on. Ever. Our whole relationship. Not one. She leaves me to my time. She goes to the shows with me when there's somewhere she wants to go. She is the most important person in my life. My absolute rock. My absolute peace. She is the love of my life. I have no other ways to say it. So I think I got all my thank yous. If I missed you, absolutely message me. Tell me I'm a stupid son of a bitch, and I'll correct it. I was telling Austin earlier, and I'll say it to you like on the pre-show. Again, I didn't get all the recordings I wanted to for 300, but you've heard a few during the show. I am going to be doing, if anybody sends something, if you feel like you want to send a video to us, it's allthingselitepod@gmail.com. Send me a recording. It will be on the next show, or if it won't be on the next show after that. We're celebrating as long as we're in the 300s, baby. We're celebrating 300 until we're at 400. So we thank you all. And with that, I will leave you how I always leave you. Whether it's home, work, or school, always do your best to be elite.
Congratulations to the top guys of podcasting for 300 episodes. Way to go, guys.
Floyd, Austin, you absolute bloody legends. Congratulations on 300 episodes. I have loved listening to All Things Elite over the years. I love that you guys, you don't park your critiques in your pocket. You do look at things in a fair manner, but you always remember that you are fans. You are there to have fun. I love both of you guys. I love hearing Floyd's stories about when he gets to travel to All Things Elite and gets to travel to all the AEW shows he does, and living vicariously through that. And I love the energy, the enthusiasm, the passion you guys bring. Keep up the awesome work. And this is from Sam, of course, from the AEW Match Guide, if you couldn't tell by the voice. But congratulations, guys. This is about you. You've gone the big lift. You've done the hard yards. Congratulations.